High Division III state semifinals. The other semifinal matchup is at Lupin Field, where the undefeated Newman Greenies will host the Catholic New Iberia Panthers, rematch game of a year ago in the quarterfinals. So they're very familiar with each other, having played twice in the last 3 years previously. As mentioned before, we'll have the game live as part of the original Friday night on WGSO 990 AM and at WGSO.com and across our network of stations. And Ronnie Michael Lamarck will join me for that, so we look forward to that, as mentioned. And here to talk about his Newman Greenies, the head coach of Newman High School and alumnus as well. Say hello to Coach Nelson Stewart. Nelson.
Thank you, Ken, very much. It's an honor to be up here next to Chris Lashley and follow him, obviously, today. But in all honesty, I do want to congratulate Chris. I think that in his first year as head coach, he did a phenomenal job handling adversity, the way he's kept that team together. It's not just the talent they have, it's the level of coaching those kids get. They have such a good positive culture, and I think he is a fantastic coach. And I also want to congratulate him because he has a baby coming in the next few weeks, so this will probably be the last decent sleep we'll get for a while. So he is one of my best friends. I do think the world of him, and that's what makes coaching so special. So many of these relationships that sometimes you guys get to hear about. Every time that I'm asked to come here, I always thank Ken Trahan, over and over, the job he does, just covering sports, following just high school athletics along with Ed Daniels. These two are second to none. And, especially now in the digital age, the workload they have to, go through and carry is just unbelievable to me. Their work ethic and their passion is just outstanding. I stand up here representing a school, obviously, that's my alma mater and I love very much. It's a school I've tried to give my life to, give everything I've had to. It's my 18th year, 12th year as head coach, and I've been very privileged to work with a number of great assistants, but also under a fantastic headmaster. Dale Smith just does an unbelievable job supporting athletics, doing things the right way, giving us everything we need. And more importantly, I think I'm around the best staff that I've ever had. In my tenure, we've had a number of different assistants, but right now, I'm surrounded by just 5 of the most unbelievable minds and passionate individuals that I've ever had a chance to work with. Our defensive coordinator, Dustin Nothnagle's in his first year at the University of Louisiana Lafayette. He was a GA last year. Phenomenal mind, great work ethic, and he's really pushed us schematically to a different level, and I think our kids have really responded to him. Steve Victory also joined us, a longtime head coach at Metairie Park Country Day, handling our special teams and our secondary. A very good sounding board for me as a former head coach, and really has allowed me again to just have another great resource. Clinton Wenzel, who also came this year. He's from Lakeshore. He was the first ever actual professional football player we've had. He played for the Breakers a long time ago, played at Tulane University, and was actually a player at Country Day. And then my 2 longest tenured coaches, Jason Matthews, our head middle school coach and offensive line coach, and Will Walter, who's been with me the whole way as an assistant and is now a wide receiver coach. This has been a historical season for us. I've been very blessed to have a number of very good years at Newman School. It's the first time we've had an undefeated regular season. It's the 4th time in 40 years that's happened, going back to 1977. We had a few more in 60 and I believe 74. But it's something that doesn't happen very often. In order for us to finish 10-0, it requires full buy-in, not just from me, but from all of our players, from all of our assistants, and also our strength program. We have a great high-performance coach, Nick Bratton, who came in, totally revitalized how we worked in the summer, how we approached things, and I think that obviously the product on the field has been very representative of that. And the biggest thing for us this year, you get asked, what's different? I don't think anything's different. I just think this is a special team that really believes in each other. It's a team. I appreciate Chris's kind words. I do believe that we do have some very good football players, but they're just that. They're very good high school football players. We're on signing day, most likely, you'll find signings at other schools. These are kids that have worked their tails off, gone through our middle school. They know their role. They embrace that. They're not about individuality. They're not about what team they make, whatnot. They really, truly are all invested in the process of, hopefully finding a way to get us to the Superdome. I think that's the one thing for us that has eluded us. I stand here just representing the program that Tony Reginelli built. He's the best coach we'll ever have. He's one of the greatest in the history of Louisiana. And when he called the other day and said how proud he was of us and me, it was probably the best point of the season for me. And he still follows us very closely. So we're very motivated, but it's obviously going to be a tough task. This year, we think we played a tough schedule. Going through the regular season, playing the likes of East Jefferson, going to Berwick, a very talented team. Obviously going again, playing Riverside Academy, getting a tight win at Lupin Field. I think that really ignited us. I think it was a night that made us both better. It's hard when you lose. We've had some tightly contested contests against them. But that win really catapulted us, I think, into believing that this could be a special year. That's the deepest respect. The Riverside, Coach Lashley, the job they've done, Bill Stubbs, go back to Mickey Roussel, that was really, for us, a really big moment. And I think both teams, to be honest with you, have gotten better from that on both sides. And going to Assumption, and you hear about wild games. It was a wild one. We'd open on a Friday. Storm came down, waited in the locker room till 11. Had to come back to New Orleans, go back, we stayed up, re-game planned, watched film, brought the kids back at 11. We drove back up to Napoleonville, play a second half of football, and we were only up 14-7, ended up 42-7. So it was a nice win for us. And then last week, beating St. Thomas Aquinas under just a great coach in Hutch Gonzalez, who had them just playing fantastic, a hot team that had beat a meet, upset them, then going against, I think, a very good Ascension Episcopal team on the road, and got a good decisive win. I thought might have been our best game of the year, and that here we are in the state semifinals. This isn't a moment that we take lightly. I hear that Ronnie, Michael, Mark is going to be, hopefully that's going to be good luck for me. I feel very old when former players are now doing play-by-play, but I know he'll do fantastic, and he told me he's going to come up to practice. So proud of him, and really just all the guys have gotten an opportunity to coach, but that he was part of the last semifinal team in 2014. We played Catholic New Iberia, who will play tomorrow night. I guess just my analysis of that game, Brent Indes, you hear a lot about friends. He is one of my closest friends. We talk every week, even this one, and I know how great of a coach he is. I know the job that he does, and he's got them playing very well. They've caught fire of late. They had a tough loss to Notre Dame, obviously arguably the best team in the state, in our division, and last week just really exploded against Calvary Baptist and put I believe they won 49-28 in a game that was over in a hurry. They're just playing at a very high level. We worked very hard Sunday to come up with a good game plan. I think all of us as a staff believe in, and I can tell you this is as excited as I've seen the Newman community for a football game in a long time. This is at least as big of a game as I've been a part of, and I think that's a product of the work of all of our players for many years. Guys like Ronnie and Jay Tyler, Kendall Bussey, and all the guys, Odell Beckham, that I've been able to work with. Really, it leads up to that night. We feel like it's not just about our team, it's about our community and our tradition. And we're going to try and take that next step. On Friday, we're going to have to play outstanding. When you talk about Catholic New Iberia, they run the wing tee, they run fast, they're efficient, they run a stacked defense. Just as Chris alluded to, Notre Dame, they come out of that same league. It's tough physical football. The wing tee is not about trickery, it's about running downhill fast, and that's what they do well. That's been our focus this week. In preparation of the wing tee, you have to put a lot of extra work in your scout team, understanding gaps, numbers, keys, things like that. We feel like we have a really good feel for it, especially because we played them twice. We played them in the quarterfinals last year, the semis again in 2014. So in terms of our preparation, we feel very good. We just got to play hard. And I also think that, in a moment like this, we're a little battle tested. We've been to the semis. I don't think we're going to come out wide-eyed. I know we'll come out focused and ready to play football. And just as Chris alluded to, our sole focus is obviously to, get to the state championship. That's what we want to do. Just a few of our players to highlight very briefly. I hear about Newman all the time. Martin Butcher has had an outstanding year. He's actually 53 yards short Peyton Manning's single season record, which is a mark that has held since 1993 of 2,703 yards. He's had an outstanding year in 11 games. He's been able to do that, and so hopefully he'll be able to get that little goal on Friday night. But we also have 4 great wide receivers. We don't have one. We're blessed that we have 4 guys that all have over 400 yards receiving, and Dylan Hill, Murray Calhoun, Stewart, Charbonnet, Jamon Sullivan. We feel like they're all #1 receivers to us, and we've been able to spread it around, and that's how Martin's at 2,600 yards plus passing. And the story of our year offensively was James Posha. He has almost 1,200 yards rushing. He's healthy for the first time in the playoffs. He's a battering ram or running back, but he also has a lot of athleticism, averaging 6 yards a carry, his 22 touchdowns, and he's really been able to create balance for us, where we're not just throwing it all over the field, which at times we had to do last year. You hear all about our offense, but our defense last week, gave up 7 points. They pitched a few shutouts, and I think they're a championship caliber group. In our biggest wins, that's when I believe they've stepped up. Up front, Brandon Williams is sophomore defensive end that's just been outstanding off the edge. He has almost 10 sacks on the year, and I will not pour him out, Brandon. He most likely will be signing in a few years. He's as good of an edge rusher as we've had. And to give you an idea, he's already our career sack leader as a sophomore, so he's got 2 more years to add on to that. Our leading tackler, Liam Rowan, he's got 54 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for losses. Very physical, plays inside well. And our secondary are 4 seniors that play selfless, play together, and it's not just against the pass, the run as well. And then up front, we have one Iron Man that I always try and talk about, a guy named Ryan White, who's our starting center and defensive end, doesn't come off the field, just a 6'2", 220-pound kid that gives everything that he has. But again, I'm just absolutely blessed and humbled by this year. I'm very appreciative just of the chance to come talk to you all, and we're obviously going to see what we can do on Friday night. With that, do we have any questions? Sir.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned that this is going to be your semifinal game, so if you do win the Dome games in 2 weeks, so you'll have 2 weeks off?
Yeah, we do. It's Chris and I are actually discussing it. A little bit different. The state wanted all the games together again. The select, non-select feels hopefully like we're coming closer together in that. So all the games will be stacked together, and I'm sure guys like Ed and Ken are going to love covering all of them within a 3-day span. But it's Thursday, December 7th, so a little bit unique. You have 2 weeks of preparation. So yeah, if you win, you go to the Dome, but it's 2 weeks.
Are you thinking that's a chance for y'all to heal up and get more focused on the big Dome game?
Well, I think you have to use it to your advantage. Obviously, you'd like to be able to just go and play it, but you treat it like a bye week, and both teams get a chance to know each other. And I think you heal up. I think you can do an extra week of conditioning and also just preparation. It gives you more time, I think, to catch your breath. And also, never having been, I do know that, obviously speaking with Chris and Frank Monica, guys that have gone, quite a few times, there's a lot of logistical things with the Superdome, whether it's practices or meetings. It at least lets you catch your breath a little bit, get used to it, and I think gives teams, if it's their first time, a little better chance to get acclimated to the area if they're playing the state championship. Thank you, sir. Guys, thank you all so much for having me. I deeply appreciate it.
Thank you, Nelson. Again, Newman Friday night at home against Catholic of New Iberia at Lupin Field. Hope you can be there. And even if you are there,